The brothers Andrew and Tristan Tate have been charged with serious crimes including human trafficking in the UK. Although the charges were authorized last year and arrest warrants were reported, this is the first time the Crown Prosecution Service has confirmed these charges. The warrant issued by Bedfordshire Police for the siblings dates back to between 2012 and 15, when the alleged crimes were said to have taken place. According to reports, Andrew Tate faced 10 charges related to 3 women, including actual bodily harm, human trafficking and controlling prostitution for gain. While his brother Tristan Tate faces charges related to 1 woman, including human trafficking and bodily harm.
So this Andrew Tate character is back in the news again. He was arrested down there in Florida and charged with all kinds of charges in the UK. Now we know that he was arrested about 2 or 3 years ago and was charged with doing a whole bunch of weird things to women in Romania. Now, he was locked up for 6 months. At some point, he was released, but he was still, trial was still pending there, so he couldn't really leave. But then he had these charges in the UK, but they wasn't going to extradite him to the UK until after he finished his charges with Romania, right? Man, this thing got real crazy. But he ended up moving to like Dubai. But when Donald Trump, he pressed Romania and they ended up letting him move in his travel ban and allowing him to move around. He ended up buying a $15 million mansion down here in Florida in the United States. Man, and that's where it gets real tricky and it gets real goofy, right? Because you know that if you come to America and you got a warrant in Britain or the UK, you going to jail. They have an extradition treaty, right? They're going to come and get you. Now, this guy, his claim to fame was coming online. At first, he was like a kickboxer dude, but we saw that he got his head knocked off by some Skittles crew kickboxer guy, right? So his reputation was ruined. He talked about these women and all this kind of stuff, and all the red pill guys will have him on all the platforms, right? But now he's under fire.
Andrew, how are you?
In Florida, after a long flight from Romania, Andrew Tate was as combative as ever.
We live in a democratic society where it's innocent until proven guilty, and I think my brother and I are largely misunderstood. There's a lot of opinions about us, a lot of things that go around about us on the internet. We've yet to be convicted of any crime in our lives ever.
Did Donald Trump help get the travel ban lifted?
The social media influencer is a big fan of the US president. In Romania a month ago, this was his message to his millions of internet followers.
Donald Trump is the future of the Western world. Everybody knows it, and everybody needs to get in line and obey him. He runs the world, and he's a good friend of mine, and I'm going to help him.
The Trump administration, it was reported recently, pressed the Romanians to lift the brothers' travel ban.
Now, Andrew Tate was doing some butt kissing with Donald Trump. And this administration is funny, right? Because Donald Trump and his crew, he only care about him and his crew, right? Him and his group, whoever's running with him, right? So now his administration makes some phone calls to Romania and they lift up the travel ban. They allow you to live in different countries and even come here, right? You buy a $15 million mansion and you live in here, but then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. Now, the cameras is there. They having big press conferences. Everybody's coming there, right? And you're drawing attention. Now, we know that DeSantis had already said that dude ain't coming living here. He not going to come live here. But he went to Florida despite what the governor said, right? Because y'all know in America, governors have a lot of say-so in their states. But he moved there anyway because he felt like Donald J. Trump had his back, right? But then all of a sudden this happened.
Mr. Tate, would you mind signing?
Hey, Tate.
Come back. Oh, shit. No. Come over here by me. Let's go. Over here by me. Back up. Guys, back up. Florida producer? Yeah. Will you be able to pull it up some sort of way? You gotta give us a second. Okay.
Tristan, anything to say?
Now, after the arrest, like I said, the Sanchez and them, you know, they're basically saying we ain't got nothing to do with that, man. We read about it through the media. But remember what the Sanchez said. Dude can't come here. Whatever he's charged with, he ain't bringing that foolishness to Florida, right? That's what the Sanchez said. And then all of a sudden that happened. And I told you, the governor had already told you, don't come to Florida.
We have no involvement in that. I read about it through the media. Clearly, the federal government has jurisdiction, whether they want to rebuff his entry into the United States, and I have confidence that whether it's Pam Bondi or Kristi Noem, that they will be looking at that. I do know our Attorney General, James Uthmeyer, is looking at what state hooks and jurisdiction we may have to be able to deal with this. But the reality is no, Florida is not a place where you're welcome. With that type of conduct in the air. And I don't know how it came to this. We were not involved. We were not notified. I found out through the media that this was something that was happening. Okay, guys, thanks so much. God bless everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you.
As for Ron, I'm a little bit disappointed, I'll be honest. I've never said anything bad about him. I didn't know much about him. I was a fan of his. I heard that Florida was a great state. I know he did well under COVID. I knew nothing about the guy. But it turns out when he was pressured, he instantly caved to the pressure. And we have to have a long conversation about why the liberals and why Soros and why these wrap-up smears, why they use the media to do what they do. Because what they try and do is isolate somebody. So they're afraid to be, so people are afraid to represent them or stand by them or stick up for due process. I don't know why Ron's answer wasn't, he has an American passport. The judicial system in Romania, which I know absolutely nothing about, decided to let him fly. And he's flown to his home country. As far as we're concerned, he's broken no laws. Instead, what he did was say, we're going to get our attorney general to try and find some laws he's broken and wreck this man who's done nothing inside of the United States ever. Isn't the whole point of democracy innocent until proven guilty? I've yet to even have a trial, let alone a conviction. I've never even been tried after 3 years.
So we know if he's living in the United States that Donald Trump gave the call for, for Cash Patel and his crew to go in there and lock him up. Because he wouldn't have been staying here for so long, knowing that the U.S. does business with the U.K. and they allied with Britain. He'd have been out of here the minute he touched soil, right at the airport. He would have been out of here. So he's been here for a long time now, and they came and arrested him, right? But then it says the Crown Prosecution Services has decided to bring further charges against brothers Andrew and Tristan Tate in relation to 4 further victims. The CPS has decided to prosecute Andrew Tate, 39, with 7 further counts of rape. Those counts of arranging or facilitating trafficking of actual exploitation, 3 counts of assault, occasioning actual bodily harm, and 19 additional charges for offenses relating to indecent images of little people and extreme pornography. The CPS has decided to prosecute Tristan Tate, 38, with 1 count of actual assault, 2 counts of rape, 3 counts of arranging or facilitating trafficking for actual exploitation. The offending is alleged to have taken place July 2010 to August 2017. The suspects were arrested by the U.S. Marshal Services in the United States of America July 18, 2026. Following their arrest in the United States, prosecutors will be seeking extradition in relation to the original 21 charges and further charges which we have decided to prosecute. Malcolm McHaffey, head of Special Crime Division at the Crown Prosecution Service, said, "We have decided to prosecute Andrew and Tristan Tate for further offenses including rape, arranging or facilitating trafficking of sexual exploitation, and offenses related to indecent images of a child, indecent images of a little person." These charging decisions followed receipt of a further file of evidence from Bedfordshire police and bring the total number of alleged victims in this case to 7. So these guys is in serious trouble, man. Like they're in serious trouble. I don't know. Like he said, Andrew said that they've been fighting this thing. They've been fighting this thing for now 3 years, and they never had a trial. They never had anything. Romania hasn't brought them to trial. I guess they was on the run from the UK. But with these type of charges, they get convicted. It's over for them. They going to jail for life. They going to jail for life. But he was living here, and they haven't, 3 years ago, they was on every platform talking a whole bunch of stuff about women. So they going to pull up all those old videos that he was saying about women on all those platforms. These guys are done. But y'all got to let me know what y'all think. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.